We have a guest joining us live here in just a moment, everybody. A very special guest that you guys know from the show. Yeah. Cole, oh, sorry. Our special guest looks like I do right before we hit the live button, actually. But he's good to go. Okay.
Good.
All right, we're gonna bring
SpongeBob hoodie on.
We're gonna bring on a guest real quick, and then we'll get back into the rest of our topics. This is one of our indie. Can you hit the indie spotlight? Actually, the bumper.
Sure. I gotta find it. Okay.
I'm gonna give a big motherfucking shout out.
What is that, dude?
Hey, we are joined by one half of the new GCW World Tag Team Champions. One half of the Garbage Daddies defeated Kevin Koo, Dominic Guarini bounces forever at the People vs. GCW in Hammerstein Arena. Cole Radrick. How's it feel to finally win that tag title, man?
I'm not gonna lie to you, that sounded pretty nice. One half of the new GCW World Tag Team Champions. Man, it's awesome. Finally win the tag team championships with Alec Price, beating Viruses Forever. Man, it's awesome. It's honest. Again, I'm gonna say it again, but it's fucking awesome. To not only win the World Tag Team Championships, to not only win it with Alec Price, but to win it at such a historic venue like the Hammerstein Ballroom, where, like, you know, there's people older than me, and I am looking at the both of you that have, you know, watched ECW, like, in its, when it was, you know, ECW in the 2000s and 99, when they would, and even up to 01, even when they would run the Hammerstein Ballroom, it was always amazing. My first glimpse of it was Tommy Dreamer, Sandman versus the Dudleys back in 05. And I just remember watching the Sandman's entrance and thinking about how electric, like, that feeling must have been. And to just get a glimpse of it and to see, just to be a part of that event, of Hammerstein for the second time, is something that's really cool, man. It's a lot of cool footnotes in my career.
Yeah, it was sick. It was an awesome moment. I loved watching that. I'm such a huge fan of, like, as wrestlers, but even more so as human beings, all four of you guys. Like, I'm really high on you, Alec, Koo, and Guarini. So, like, as a fan, and I've gotten to watch you guys for so long, like, for so many years, like, grinding the indies and working small shows and having, you know, different move sets, and, like, just watching the progression year after year after year after year, and, like, to see for it to be the four of you guys in that moment was, like, so rewarding for me as a fan. And, like, what was it like for you, not just obviously winning the titles at Hammerstein, but that it was against Koo and Guarini, because you wrestled those guys forever, for years.
Yeah, absolutely. It was one of the conversations that was had, you know, leading up to Hammerstein, after Hammerstein, you know, during, you know, Koo and I have known each other for almost 8 years, 7 years, 8 years. Originally, I think we first met at Southern Underground Pro in the East Basement in Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah. Basement East, yes, Basement East. Sorry. You know, and that, and I, you know, to see like my friendships and relationships grow with these people, and to see how we evolve over time, and, like, it's one of those things where, like, if you would have told me 7, 8 years ago, me and Koo and Dom and Alec would be, you know, having one of the marquee matches on GCW Hammerstein, like, I'd have been like, that doesn't sound about right. But to have it happen now, and to be in those moments with those people, it's just, man, it's awesome. It's unique. It's one of those things where, you know, in 20 years from now, as long as I can remember it, you know, I would have just looked back at all these days and be like, made some cool memories with cool friends and had cool moments.
You had the match of the night, too. It pains me to say that as your biggest hater, but you did have the match of the night. So congratulations, I guess. Congratulations on winning the tag titles, I guess.
Steven, what the fuck is up with this guy? Like, I don't know what his problem is. Like, I thought he was going to come on and talk about family. And, you know, but here we are. I show up.
I got to keep you motivated by still being a hater, you know? If you just get praised by everybody, you you get
You get
the
soft.
ego. Yeah.
I'm salty at you, so I'm
Is that what you're
tossing.
tossing?
Throwing salt at him. Is that White Castle salt?
Yes. Shout out White Castle.
What's your order at White Castle?
Oh shit! I thought I killed my camera. Dude, come on. What do you? If you go to White Castle, there's one thing you're getting:
Sliders.
chicken
The
rings.
burgers.
Oh wait,
Chicken
what?
rings. Chicken rings.
Chicken rings. So the first time I ever had White Castle was on the way to your show. Was on the way to the SpongeBob Shaw. That was the first time I ever.
First time you ever.
Yeah, first time I ever had it.
What were your thoughts?
Not
Yeah.
great.
Greasy.
24 hours. I don't know, like about all 24-hour restaurants, but most 24-hour restaurants, in my experience, they're usually best for those inebriated of some sort.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a local pizza spot here in Bloomington that is notoriously bad, unless you have like a high alcohol percentage in your blood system. Then it's the best spot in the world, and I feel like that kind of goes with White Castle. It's not great, but when you're down bad at 3 a.m. and you get this greasy sliders and good crispy, maybe a little bit overcooked chicken wings and some undercooked but heavily overly packed fries, brother. What's better? You know what I mean? But if you got White Castle at like but if you got White Castle at like 2 p.m. on a Saturday on your way to Spencer, Indiana, like that's kind of a you problem. That's not an us problem. Like that's a you not understanding the situation you're in. You know, they're like at 2 p.m. That's a Wendy's. That's a Taco Bell.
I was looking for anything else, and I just happened to pull up on the exit, and White Castle's there. I was like, you know what? I've never had White Castle. Let me actually like try this. You gotta live and learn, you know.
Hey,
I learned.
You gotta get Casey's slice. A slice
what
of
is
pizza
this?
A slice of pizza from Casey's gas station.
Oh, I don't know.
It's not a 7-Eleven. It's like
I don't trust gas station food.
I would call it a rural Sheetz, but actually good.
I don't trust any gas station food. You're not going to talk me into it. Sheetz,
well, when you come to Smitty this year, you know,
I'll stop at a Wendy's. I've learned my lesson. I'll stop at a Wendy's and get what I know.
You'll get a Casey's slice on your way because it's right by the venue.
Yeah, it might be. On the way home, I stopped at a McDonald's because at least I knew what I was getting myself into with the food situation. Like at least I know McDonald's. Like it can't go wrong with a McDonald's.
Never.
What did you guys eat for your big for your big victory celebration?
So I immediately got back on the road home, like right after show. I don't think I had anything besides like maybe a bag of chips because I drove like the first leg.
What?
I'm a madman, dude.
Clearly.
Like
all you had was a bag of chips.
I had the option. Like I could have flown home after Hammerstein, like if I wanted to fly like to from, but like I wanted to drive. And after Hammerstein, I was like, I could stay here. It did snow in New York. I was like, but also I got cats. I have things at home I'd rather be home with. So okay. I was like, all right, let me just, get on the road home. And I literally pulled over and let the other people take over at like 6 a.m. I think. And then whenever I got like back to a lunchtime, I had McDonald's. 10-piece nuggies, large, no sauce needed, sweet tea, extra sweet tea.
Gotta get the sweet, yeah. So you didn't go and get an authentic New York slice, a Sbarro or anything?
A Sbarro?
Yeah, Michael's.
Yeah. I had one during the day.
Okay.
Yeah. I had about a half a slice of pizza, but I had a New Gear's head to look cool in it,
It looked good.
Thank you.
The wrestling singlet look. Although I will say I'm still a big fan of the parachute pants. I don't know if those are ever going to make a return. The Jinko lover as a kid inside of me loves seeing the baggy pants.
There's just not a lot of them left.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you ruin the ones that you wore because they were all like in matches? Yeah.
I mean, I have an old pair. If you really want me to, I can go get them and get them. And I mean, it's just from death matches, from bleeding. Like they get stained. Like even if I clean them, or even if when I clean them. All right, I'm not. Let's calm down. But they just they deteriorate over time, and I personally love them. I love them too, but I also have to find like the right size that fits me because I always either got a size like bigger or a size where I was like, I'm gonna break this button on the front, and I'm just gonna like be pulling up my pants the entire time.
That could be distracting.
Could be.
Yeah. Are you just on like to be able to make the drive after Hammerstein? Are you just on this like such a massive like adrenaline rush still, even after the show is over? Like that, it's just like I can only imagine that feeling of winning those titles in front of that crowd. Like I don't think I'd be able to sleep that night.
Yeah, there's definitely like the adrenaline rush. It's weird. It's like after the match, I had such an adrenaline dump, and then going home, like driving home, I had such it was an adrenaline rush, but it was just I was fueled by adrenaline. Like I was just, I was revisiting old memories, like how the fuck I got here, like what right did I take when I was supposed to take a left, like just a lot of reminiscing and just kind of enjoying like the moment, the nights, like these things. One day, like wrestling goes away for everybody, and we all don't know. Like I don't know when my last match is going to be. Like something could happen, like God forbid. So like you have to take moments when they happen and really like enjoy them, and like try to understand like the gravity of it. Like I got to wrestle in the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City, got paid to do it. There's literally more people there than that currently live in my hometown. Like these are thoughts to me that are like, it's just I find ways to appreciate the journey, and that kind of what helped me keep me awake.
Yeah. This is probably a pretty obvious question, but like, what do you think? Do you consider that the biggest moment of your career?
Yeah, by far.
Yeah. Awesome.
Hammerstein would be first. It's definitely first. I would say getting the opportunity to like travel the world would be like the second, because when I first started, like all I ever wanted to do was travel the world and get paid to do it. I just wanted to see the world on somebody else's dime, getting to do the one thing I love. And when I was able to do that, I felt really accomplished. Now, was it like the ultimate goal? No, but it was my personal main one. But being able to win the GCW World Tag Team Championships in the fucking Hammerstein Ballroom is definitely probably the biggest moment of my career.
Okay, why didn't you cash in your brass ring? Why you helped Effie? You're a very kind friend. Respectable, but you could have had a bigger night, Cole. Could have been a double champion to close the night.
Listen, man. I don't have to take somebody else's moment to have my own moment. And I will have my own moment.
Okay.
The Mance thing is that Mance has been doing his shit for too long. He's involved me. He's involved Alec. He's involved my friends. And maybe it was my turn to get involved myself. Why did I cash in on Effie?
I wouldn't expect you to cash in on Effie. That's your friend. I didn't say you got to cash in on Effie. Like that was I respect you for helping your friend in that. You could have cashed in on Mance though.
I could have cashed in on both of them. They were both down, man.
Yep.
But again,
you have to get your hand.
I'm trying to help you out here and say Effie is your good friend.
He is my good friend. He's my buddy. He's my brother. That's my guy.
You should cash in on both of them. You should have stacked them and threw the one up on them afterwards.
I'll have my moment.
Hell yeah. I loved that whole scenario there because it made sense given your history, because like you said, Mance Warner has affected you directly as well many times. Like you guys were a part of this whole story. I mean, I mean, obviously for like the better part of like the last year or whatever it's been that like the actual feud has been going on in GCW programming, but like this all goes back so long because you've known Effie and Allie and all y'all have known each other for so long at this point, similar to the Kuhn Carini stuff that like if even if like you're a new fan, you might not understand like the SGC lore and like there's all these people we're talking about have been so intertwined for so long. It all just culminated at Hammerstein, but there's a lot of meat on the bone there. I mean, you got the tag team titles, so it's like, so I mean, and you beat, in my opinion, I don't know if you can call. I'm very biased. VIS my favorite tag team as far as like I've been watching them forever. I watched them become a tag team pretty much through Southern Underground Pro, and like I think that they had the best singular tag team title run in GCW history, like the most title defenses.
Yeah, it was an absolutely historic run for sure.
Yeah, so that's a humongous launching point for you and Alec as the tag team champions going forward. But then in your back pocket, you literally have a guaranteed shot at the world championship still. Like this is the best case scenario for Cole Radrick. Like you're calling the shots. You're in charge right now.
Hey, when you're leading the pack, there's no need to rush.
Yes. I do want to ask, someone in the chat just mentioned it, and I do want to ask on a sad note, obviously, the match Alec Hatch and Effie, like that was obviously a very scary moment. Allie, the way that she came down on her leg, and that was absolutely terrifying and brutal. That it caused a lot of chaos. I'm assuming backstage, because like what we were seeing on screen was basically just stalling afterwards. Like everyone in the next match just had to like basically Harry Morton grabbed a microphone and just talked for as long as he could, trying to keep the fans engaged. And I've never seen a scenario like that before, where like an athletic commission like was preventing the next match from going on. What was it like backstage? And obviously our thoughts, wishes, everything are out to Allie as she recovers. But what was that moment like for y'all backstage?
Man, first off, shout out Steph DeLander for being a fucking G.
Yes.
Like, Steph DeLander took care of Alley Cat, made sure she got to the hospital, went to the hospital with Allie, made sure she never left Allie's side. Like, and there's a lot more I could say, but what I will say is Steph sacrificed a lot for herself that night to make sure Allison was taken care of. The backstage, like everybody's like heartbroken. Like everybody loves Allie. Allie's a member of our family. She's been a part in GCW longer than I have. Like she's been on, all the shows. She's worked hard for this moment. Like, in the locker room, you could tell like that night, Hammerstein Ballroom meant so much to her. She put so much thought and effort into what she was doing, and for it to end so quickly, violently, and honestly depressingly, like it really sucks. And then you have you have Alley Cat in an ambulance waiting to go to the hospital. You have another ambulance in New York City trying to navigate the snow and the traffic in New York City to get to the Hammerstein Ballroom. It's like, a show that people, some may say like right over on time. Like you look at that chunk of time that had to go on there alone, like now you're like, you're already down a strike, but more so like we'd rather make sure Allie's okay. Yeah. We'd rather get Allie into the ambulance, make sure she gets to the hospital, make sure she's okay, make sure, nothing's worse than it fucking already is, because it's already bad. And then you realize, like, hey, we have a couple matches to go. Like we have to keep going. And it's one of those things where you're trying to make the best out of an already bad situation, and to go out there and like to try and be there and try to uplift spirits and try to turn it around. And I'm not trying to say that or take anything lightly. Like Allie broke her fucking leg. Like, that's serious. Like, her health comes first, foremost. But now that I've already gone past this point, and now we realize that these are the steps that we have to go. Like, we all came collectively together to try to make it the best show possible, to try to make everything work out, and to try to get the fans to go home as happy as possible with the weight that, of what everybody just saw. And exactly like you said earlier, like, prayers, shout outs go out to Allie. I've talked to her a little bit. I know a lot of people have reached out to her. A lot of people supported her through her GoFundMe, which thank you for all those that did that. Thank you again to Steph for organizing that. And it's one of those things where we try to come together as a family, support another member of the family. And yeah.
I love that Steph DeLander, who set up the GoFundMe, she used the photo of like the leg up top, and it just like immediately when you click the GoFundMe, it's like, this is the severity of this. Donate. Like, this is how bad it is. Bless Steph DeLander. She's fantastic. And best wishes to Allie as she goes through. I know she's been tweeting and kind of giving people updates, which is really good to see that she's at least active and giving as many updates as she can. But a big shout out to Steph DeLander for really taking care of things behind the scenes there, because it was not a good position for anybody. Like, watching the show live, the stop and start of everything, and Kerry Morton and all these guys have got to cut promos. You guys followed that match, and like, you guys did a great job of really relifting the crowd and getting everybody back into it. I can't imagine having to follow basically the trios match, where like that was a middle of the match or middle of the card kind of match. Like, everyone was excited for the New York OGs, and then Ricky getting involved in the end there. But you guys had to come out there and follow that after kind of that lull there and really lift everybody back up on that. So I guess I got to praise you a little bit for that.
Hey, it's okay, Jeremy. Listen.
Now, look, I sent you a nice message before the show, and then I sent you a nice message after the show that you ignored both of them. So,
and then I immediately responded to Steven within like 4 minutes.
Of course you did.
Well, that's my buddy.
Cole got that history, man. See, me and Cole don't have heat with each other like you two do. Me and Cole know each other for quite a while now, and I was one of those people that was like tweeting about how much I love this Cole Radrick guy that I'm seeing doing these random sub scrambles and stuff. Back when no one was paying attention to Cole, I was like, people need to be watching Cole Radrick. So,
I'm sorry, I'm the one that drove 7 hours to go to Cole's show to support him, making the towns out here.
Making the towns. Brother.
Yeah. No, I was genuinely happy for you. I was genuinely excited for you. To tell you the truth, the wife will confirm this. She was in the room watching the show with me, and she was about to leave to do check on the kids and stuff. I was like, I'm pretty sure Cole's about to win the titles, and so she came back in to watch your title victory. So I made sure she watched it as well. We were happy for you.
Hell yeah! Shout out, wifey.
We support. Emotional for that match. Like, during the entrances and the finish, I was standing up. Like, this was the closest I was gonna get probably maybe ever to like. My big moment was watching, Cody defeat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. But like, this was like that for me. I was pacing around my living room, like watching the tag match the entire time. Like, man, I was super, super pumped for that. And we're not sitting here glazing you. I think that was the best match of the night, like, legitimately.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Shout out. I mean, it wasn't just me, but, shout out. Thank you.
Well, of course.
Speaking of which, you're talking about like getting fired up and like watching wrestling and shit. I had one of those moments recently. The John Cena promo on Netflix, dog. The only time we say never is never give up. You can't fucking put that in my face. You kidding me, man? Let's go. But to be like, and there were fans there, bro, that were like emotional when we won. And that shit is so cool to me, man, because Like, to be able to connect with people on that deep of a level where they're getting genuinely excited for me and Alec winning the tag team championships, like, it's really humbling and it's really cool.
All right, I got one more question for you, Cole. This is completely off topic, but it just came to mind because I do have a handful of your signed 8x10s, which I have some of them actually behind me on my wall of legends behind me. You just can't see them because it's a little below my chair. But when are you going to get action figures, dude? Like, you need an action figure. So I can get an action figure of you. You can sign it. I can put it up on my wall with all my other signed figures. I need a Cole Radrick fig.
Tell Cardona. That's the plug, apparently. For
How has he not reached out? Are you kidding? You haven't had a conversation with Cardona about this? Are you kidding me? Dude, I'm going to DM. They have a guy, Michael Kinnick, or Kinnicky, they call him. We've had him on the show before, and he's in charge of like their bendies and their big rubber guys. I'm going to literally DM him after this interview and be like, "You're Cole Radrick."
You're not the first person or even like the 20th to ask me that. I just kind of, I'm one of those people where like I will let the chips fall as they fall. Like if I get an action figure one day, cool. If not, whatever. But I think there definitely is a market for them. I've definitely been asked a lot about them. Like I used to have, of course it's going to be out of reach, but I used to have like the stuffed like dolls, and I would order 40 of them at a time, and they would last me a week and maybe 2. And like I did that for like 3 or 4 weeks. So I can only imagine what a bendy would do, or a wrestling figure, or anything like that.
Okay, well, I'm going to literally get in the DMs right after this the show today, and I'll do my part in trying to make something happen. Obviously, I don't have the kind of clout that the majority of the people that probably already talked to them have, but I at least have a way of I got a streamline of connecting with them and being like, because I've never actually hit them up before and said like, you should do this person or that person before. I'm gonna literally be like, where's the Cole Radrick? Where's the VIF? Where's the Alec Price? Like those are the 4 that I need right now.
You're gonna be like, hey, I ordered a Cole Radrick one. Where's that?
yeah. Oh man.
They have to create a whole mold and everything just for one.
Yeah, I would love that. They can make an alternate for you too, the Bloody Buddy, where you're like maybe you're like a bloody version or something. Like they do the alternate sometimes. So yeah. Hell yeah, man. Well, that's all I've got for Cole this morning. I don't want to take up too much of his time. Jeremy, you got anything?
Never.
Oh. Well, Cole, hey, thanks for joining us. I know it's early in the morning. Our show is going to be switching to 6:30 Eastern on at nighttime on Thursdays at the beginning of next month. So
I'll be popping on at 7:30 a lot. I love that,
dude. Yeah. So I mean,
you're always welcome.
You're welcome to be our third mic as often as you want to be, man.
I hear that all the time.
But who else is having you on as often as we are? Come on.
Besides probably the time before. Okay, leading up to Smitty a lot. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Well, you and Joel. With Joel and Jeremy, y'all went on leading up to the Smitty on for In the Weeds quite a bit. That's fair, but
okay.
But who were the originals?
Because yeah,
it was us.
Okay, but to be fair, now that you kind of refixed my memory on that one. I actually was wondering because I was doing that show a lot. I was like, when did I piss Steven off? Like, I do remember that because I was like, I'll do both shows. Like, I am available, brother. I am all about whatever. And I was like, all right. And then me and Joel were like joking around talking about like doing a football something or whatever. But we don't need the Carolina Panthers.
Joel doesn't know anything about football.
No, that had to have been Jeremy.
Yeah.
Well, remember we
go with the bit.
We did have that football show for a very brief time though. Me and a few others were doing it for a very short time. Didn't last very long, but yeah, no. Jeremy and Joel do a different show together. I did not bail on you. Yes, so
yes, but you did bail on me. But
no, never, man. Well, Cole, we appreciate you, buddy. Congratulations again on winning the championship.
Congratulations.
Appreciate you guys.
I give you.
Appreciate
you. Love you.
Thank you. Love you guys. And I'm excited to go to Paris, La France, and London, England this weekend, representing GCW, and also debuting for BZW, which is fucking sick. It's a sick company out there, and everything I've seen has been fucking lit. But I'm also excited for Smitty, August 2025.